Hey everybody, hope everyone is doing well. So end of week recap, November the 22nd, currently 3:36 p.m. here in London. So let's start with gold. Let's get straight into it. Nice price action since yesterday's video, to be honest. What do we see here? Okay, so basically yesterday, this is a 15-minute time frame. We were around here. Price was reacting to this level, as you can see. Remember this one, the US low, US low, US low. And then yesterday, US breached that low. We consolidated for a while. Asia brought the price back to the upside. So what I can do, I'm not going to box this area off. I'm just going to simply put this area of support right there. Now, Asia came through. It more or less stayed above the US low, as you can see right here. Even if I put the range on there as well, I can see this more or less by eye. We lifted. We tapped into the resistance, which US broke through. Quick price dump this morning, and then we whipped back up swiftly, more or less, as you can see right here. And what happened? London threw the price back into the upside, but where did the price halt, and where did the price then sell off from? Well, if we zoom out, simply put, we can see that the band that we already had drawn on, I've just simply extended that over to the right hand side. We had the lows of Asia over here, where we supported, where we used as resistance. A lot of this was messy and choppy price action, but we've already gone through that and explained as and why. And then London more or less threw the price back into that level. Look at that, beautiful. If we look at the hourly as well, at those levels, the hourly yesterday we dumped through, and then on this secondary hourly candle where we actually made the low, price remained above that. We consolidated, we had the bullish engulfing formation, and then boom, look at the price. We spiked all the way in perfectly to that band. We had a mini little shooting star candle, another wick as a retest of the area, secondary test, and then the price started to break down, another shooting star, bearish. Bearish momentum came through, bang on, excuse me, bang on the overlap. So the overlap of the US session today, which was an hour and 38 minutes ago, price, boom, came back to the downside. So this was a very, very short-lived rally, if you will. As you can see, by splitting up the time zones, we have absolute clarity as to what's going on. Again, if I just remove everything, it doesn't really become too clear. And there's a lot of mixed signaling around this area. If I put my crosshair at the base of these two candles, the bearish engulfing, look where we come into this area, more or less across here where we've reacted beforehand. So placing the levels back on, where can we see gold going right now? Now, bringing up the macro scale, interesting price action here too. Where the low is formed over here on the right side. If you look right here, if I put my crosshair at the base of these two bodies, it comes into the previous area where we've dipped and then came back through. Now, what is pretty confusing, and again, the price action hasn't been the best, and it's very, very hard to read on this 4 hourly. However, what we can see when London over here, if I just switch back to the 15-minute time frame for us, when London opened, you can clearly see over here we had the bullish engulfing formation on the 4 hourly, right back into the area of resistance. And then boom, look at that confluence. So we didn't just have a confluence here on the 15-minute time frame, we also had a confluence of resistance on the 4 hourly, as you can see there, spike in, close back below, and then we had a sell-off afterwards. So we're just reacting from level to level at the moment. So again, as you're doing your analysis, and you want to keep things as clean as possible, but what we're doing now, we're getting pure clarity as to what exactly is going on with the weekly cycles and intraday cycles. Looking at the 5-minute time frame over here, so now I'm introducing the 5 minutes. Again, you guys can go through this and you can do your own studies, but consolidation, boom, price moves to the upside, dumps. Price moves back above that band, retests that in London, and as you can see there, we have a clear upside move from, let's just say the low of this green candle, which is 1465 into highs of 1473. So that's just shy of 100 pips. We sell, we pull back again, drive into the area, and this could be a cause to go in the opposite direction. Why? Because you see that the band and you see the spiky PA on the 5 minute, on the hourly, on the 15 minute, and then over here on the 4 hourly, you can clearly see where the prices ran into. With that being said, my friends, with that being said, what then happens is we have this little sell-off across here. We have the sell-off, we break this mini little counter trend line after coming off the band of resistance, and then we start to throw in mini lower swing highs on the 5-minute time frame. We have a price dump as we come into the US session, and now what more or less I'm looking for, that's the US low at the moment, 1464. But however, as a bias, if you will, price is now dumping. It's clearly created a new lower swing high. So we have prominent high, lower swing high, bearish engulfing, retest. And then we also have the candle, which is a shooting star right here, which is also tapped into the 4-hour region of resistance. So all of these confluences are aligning very, very well on the macro scale and the micro. What I can also see here is a huge, nice volume candle. We have the pullback, okay, low volume, low volume, low volume in these 3 candles. We have the boost to the upside, we knock our head, and then what happens is, even though that was a high volume candle, this was coming into London session, so London threw the volume in. They threw the volume from A to B perfectly. Perfect, absolute perfection over there. And then what we see, the volume is more or less dropping off right now. I would like to see what the volume's like on this current 4-hour candle on the closure in 2 hours, 17 minutes. So if you look at this scale and look at the hourly time frame too, bring the hourly in. Now look at the hourly as to how that hourly candle was pretty damn good in terms of the bullish momentum that it held. But you can imagine how many people would have actually started to build up long positions around this area. Now, it's done 2 things once more. Trapping people here on the support break with the wicks, okay, in the end of the US session. Then the market has gone all the way back to the upside. It's taken out this miniature zone. This mini zone, by the way, peeps, is a low of Asia low yesterday. So we can extend that across, but I can do that by eye. But yeah, it's more or less taken that area out, because that area right there, people who were going short, and again, basing a lot of their analysis off the hourly time frame, if you will, would have stops above this area, the last swing point. And in one candle, it's taken out that swing point. So it's not only killed positions who, retail traders who were short and trapped in this area, it has also enticed people to go long right here. Oh my God, it's melting. It's enticed people to go long over here, and then it spiked in, and look what's happened now. Stops would be below here, guys. So we have stops here taken out. Positions for those who have gone long on this green candle, stops below here. Now gold has just taken that out like clockwork. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we're getting a little meltdown here right now on the gold, and what I can also suggest and see is that this could maybe pull back. It depends on how the momentum wants to, does the momentum, sorry, want to continue. This is a pretty big ass candle for a 5-minute and coming into the US. So momentum's been dragged all the way back to the downside. So London's completed the cycle, Asia consolidated here, and then US has just broken the cycle through taking out stops which were at these lows from people induced to go long over here. So again, what I'm trying to portray is the cycles in which we can map out, and we can stay one step ahead of everybody else in the game. So that's gold for now. Let's just do a quick daily analysis on gold though. So on the daily, again, it keeps slipping my mind to drop the daily and the weekly in the videos. I do apologize because I'm just so fixated on the micro at the moment. But if we looked at the day, okay, look at all of the daily wicks into the highs, and then we have the bearish engulfing yesterday pulling the price back below this area. It's also taken out 1 wick, 2 wicks. So this candle shows us that the momentum is being pushed to the downside. So we could have used that as a bias. Even at the end of that candle there, London pushed the price back up, and the price push is evident in this wick here. So the wick has gone up to test that area once more, but now we're firmly back below. So next point of call for gold, I believe, in this scenario and in this case, would be back into the supportive area on the 4-hourly of 1458. We can also see the volume on yesterday's candle, daily. It's relatively larger than the previous. Actually, it's larger than a lot of the days, to be honest, and now we're potentially going to get the follow through. But what's important here to realize is that we have all of the wick rejections to the upside, and that's why Some of the steps, the first steps on the Astro Advanced Material with the dailies, I actually took them off to give you guys clarity, because we don't want to have too many levels on the chart. But I was just mixing up styles and I was just showing you the thesis and exactly how they should be plotted on the daily. But the 4 hourly, it will serve as decent supportive and resistance areas on the daily as well, as you can see right here. So that's why I did that, and you guys can see as you go along. So gold is now selling off, and the 15-minute time frame was just closed. We have the bearish engulfing bringing it right down. We have a little pop-up. Couldn't really hold that momentum on the pop-up, and then now it's just slammed. So for me, the week is over. I've been in and out of a few trades this week, but I've been busy boxing all of this content off and getting into a good rhythm and routine with it, because it's quite difficult to really focus on trading and recording because your brain processes so much information. I'm trying to deliver this information in the best possible format and the most understandable format for everybody to be able to utilize practically. Now, going into the GBP AUD, exactly what we said yesterday. So remember, I said that, okay, cool, we're gonna have the price breakdown, bring these areas across, and the price breakdown came through. We broke through the lows over here, and then what happened today in London? London pushed the price all the way back to the downside. We had a little bit of a relief rally coming off that area. Here as well, we can put the crosshair there. I'm not going to draw the level on, but the previous US low right here, which was formed, that's where we found support, and that's why we had the relief rally there. We then rolled over on the 15-minute. We had 2 weak candles coming off that moving average. Bearish engulfing comes through, and then we come into the lows. And look at this. Just before the US Open, we spike into this region. What is that region? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's zoom out on the chart. Ow, look at that. That little boxed off area right there, which is the US low. US has opened and respected that once. Oh, sorry. Sorry. The price respected that US low just before US opened. Now we have the little bullish engulfing candle coming back to the upside. And again, just like clockwork, guys, take that one off. Just like clockwork, the cycle has gone from the highs, trap move, boom, into the lows. And that's why we're supportive right now. If you also see on the macro scale over here, I did mention that we had the bearish engulfing. However, off that bearish engulfing, what happened? We had support was found at 1.9, and we had, if I can just find this on the chart here, we had one more wave to the upside, boom, boom, and this was in Asia. So Asia pushed it up one last time. But this high in Asia, the Asia high, it didn't respect completely the previous day high or whatever it may be, but it did in fact respect the previous Asia high right there, as you can see. If we just drew like, okay, just get a little bit creative here, draw a little line across there, you can clearly see where we hit that resistance band, and then the final bearish engulfing candle was formed over here, and that was the result of this move. So at the moment we're quite stagnant. We've come back into this price region, but what did I say on the last video? This is exactly what can happen. We can take out these lows here. So for now, let's have a look at the hourly on this chart. The hourly over here, pretty decent PA, to be honest. We came back up. Price was relatively stagnant. 1, 2, 3 roll, and then we melted on the hourly. So the hourly right now is trying to pull back. We can correlate this hourly with the 15-minute, and let's go into the 5-minute to see if we can get further information as to what happened. So let's go back to the high. So this PA over here on the hourly, 1, 2, and 3, this is the result of it. Price started to thin out, liquidity started to thin out, then boom, it came through nicely. Now, as we stepped into this region, our previous band, the overlap on London, we had the bearish engulfing that came through, and we retested that area, and then we must have picked up orders somewhere around here, and then the market has taken it all the way back to the downside, and this is the result of it there. Huge breakthrough on the hourly, follow through on the hourly, retest, blah blah blah. So so far so good. I'm pretty sure that the videos that I've done this week alone are starting to open your mind to these principles and transform the way you look at the market and your trading. For me now, GA, again, I'm out of the market at the minute, but we are finding support right here on the US low again. So US low, I think US may be respecting what they did a few days ago. Maybe we can come back up, retest this area, I'm not too sure, but the move is done now. We already had that one mapped out, if you will. We already mapped that one out, and at the moment, as you can clearly see, there isn't really any trade to go for because we've missed a move, and this is the time where we step back and chill out for the weekend or whatever it may be. So I'm really, really satisfied with that. BTC has now broken major support as well on the day. I'll be throwing this in there, guys. Snapped, boom. I'll do a whole video on this. Hopefully it comes through. That'd be pretty interesting if it does come all the way down to that level. Now gold it's done the stop hunt, the run is done, okay? And it's probably enticed traders to go short at the moment, so I'll be very, very, very careful at this level. Hourly is not looking too nice, as you can see. Look at that, just by me putting that line on there. You can clearly see our market has respected that so well. And now what we can maybe see for gold, if we close back above, the market may start to rally all the way back to the upside. All the way back to the upside and go from there. So that's it, Friday. I'm going to tune back in next week and let's lock this down again. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're having fun marking this out on your charts and seeing the accuracy of it all.